Good morning, hello, and welcome to Rapid Fire Friday. My name is Tanja. I'm a peak performance specialist for real estate leaders and professionals that really want to grow themselves and their business in the least amount of time. Welcome to Rapid Fire Friday. This is where I reflect on all the key lessons from Kate. I love you. You're always first off the bat. G'day, Shan. Nice to have you here. G'day, Kate. Here's is where I share all the lessons from reflecting on this week. We've got Catherine, good morning. Mickey, great, g'day. Guys, on Facebook, let me know. Hey, Shan, thanks for the wave. Let me know what the quality is like on Facebook. I had a technician come and fix our internet reception. I want to know what the quality is like. Give me a thumbs up if the sound, or write me a comment. Thanks for joining, Shan. I want to get straight into it because I really value your time. Hi, Holly. Beautiful to have you here. So this for reaching 80 First National agents and 14 principals at Crown Casino. We were talking about elevating our real estate of mind. Hey, Beck, great to have you here. Just by the way, if you're watching live, type in live. If you're watching record, type in record. I wait at the end of the driveway to make sure I am on and connected before driving to the office. Good on you, Kate. Just let me know what the reception's like. First of all, let me ask, how are you? How has your week been? How are you feeling? Are you feeling empowered or disempowered? Good morning, Diane. Great to see you here. Are you feeling empowered or disempowered? Are you feeling stuck, oscillating, or free? Like, are you feeling like you're not getting anywhere, or you're busy being busy, or you are on track and ready to rock and roll, and you can see that you're on a pathway to fulfill your goals for the end of this financial year? Here's what I want to start with. I've had the privilege this week of coaching people who are really in a crap state, and I'm years now. I'm 46. I'll be 47 this year. And I have to just say to you, if you are watching this and you're feeling like crap in any area of your life, I really want you to pay attention to the quality of your thoughts that are happening in here. There's a saying in NLP, G-O-G-O, good in, good out, garbage in, garbage out. So the quality of your thoughts will determine the actions that you take, therefore the results that you produce. And I know you can either be thinking positively or negatively. So if you are thinking negatively, I want you to look at how you can interrupt this pattern, because you are not your thoughts. You are not the crap that you think about yourself, others, and the world. You are a conscious human being that can choose the quality of your thoughts. G'day, Linda. Great to have you here. Hi, Janet. Nice to see you join us. Like, the reason I get up in the morning is to empower people to just be happy and live deeply fulfilling lives. Experience right now, and we are disempowered, many are depressed, and many are even suicidal, and this, it just breaks my heart, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I want to start up front. If you're watching this right now on Instagram or Facebook and you feel like crap and you can't get a way out of there, and you felt like this for a while, DM me on Facebook, write to me privately on Facebook, and DM me on Instagram, and let's get you a raft. Book in a half an hour free session with me, and I want to just be of service and help you out. Okay, that's my first opening. Now, if you're watching this and you are in real estate and you've been oscillating to get into action on video, I want to give you some video statistics that I'm to this. This year, video traffic will account for 80% of all internet traffic. So video content is 80% of all internet content. 8 billion videos are watched on Facebook every single day. Now, if you're in property, are your properties on video on Facebook? Are you doing direct target marketing to Facebook audiences? Are you there with your phone doing videos to connect with your community? Yes or no? And I'm going to talk about a great app that I've been sharing with clients this week. Check this out. 500 million hours, 500 million plus hours of video are watched on YouTube every single day. Videos up to 2 minutes have the best engagement. We tend to tune out after 2 minutes. 20% of people will leave if they haven't been hooked in within the first 10 seconds. So having a catchy opening is really critical. And here's what I find most interesting. Videos if it's on video versus 10% retention of your content if it's a text or a post. How's that? So if you shoot a quick little video about something, I as a viewer am likely to retain 95% of your message versus if you just do a post. So if you're wondering how to really connect with future clients or increase your engagement, you must be on video. And I know a lot of you, maybe not you that are watching now, but a lot of people really resist video. Why? Because we really care what people think and we don't want to make a fool of ourselves. So we care and we're worried about being judged. Let me give you a tip. G'day, Kim. Mwah, great to have you here. People don't want polished and perfect. People want real and raw. You know, I've got a whiteboard in front of me with some intentions to share with you, things that are making a real difference in people's lives. I don't have a script that I'm following because I just want to go on a riff and just add as much value as I can to you in, you know, and I'm going to stuff up, and I have many times, but you'll get the message, you know. But if I didn't do this, I wouldn't maybe give you one piece of advice that would change, you know, your interaction with people. So, or help you build your business or grow your gross profit or heal something that you're dealing with. Does this make sense? Give me a thumbs up if this makes sense. So if you're watching this and you've been too scared to get on video, just know it's because you care too much about what people think of you. G'day, copy by Sammy. Hey, Sammy. You care too much of what people think of you. And here's my opinion on that. If you look at Mel Robbins, so she's the #1 performance coach, female performance coach on the planet right now. She does amazing work, #1 best-selling author. She's got a TED Talk called Stop Screwing Yourself Over. Highly recommend you jump onto YouTube, search Mel Robbins, How to Stop Screwing Yourself Over. In that video, she talks about scientists have calculated the chances of you and I as human beings actually being chance. So, you know, as a peak performance coach, I'm speaking a lot to people that are letting self-doubt sabotage and paralyze their progress. Kim, yep, doing community video, still shit scared. Good on you, Kim. Just go, keep going. That's awesome. Well done. By the way, if you are doing video, I know, Kate, you are, you're driving, so don't text, but, you know, we know you are. So we've got all this potential intact. There's 1 in 14 trillion chance that we could even be here on this planet. And guess what we're doing? We are all 7 billion of us floating on a rock in space, walking around in life with our latte in our hands, worried about what everybody else thinks of us. And guess what everyone else is thinking? Exactly the same thing. They're worried about what you think of them. So here we are, all this potential intact, all these dreams laying dormant, all this wonderful magic that we can share with the world, and we're worrying about what people think of us. Does this just sound crazy? I know in you there are dreams and desires and goals and ambitions and innovations and creative ideas just bursting to get out. And I know that a lot of you are worried about what people think. You're worried about not getting it right. You're worried about stuffing up. Does this make sense to you? Let me know if this sounds familiar. So video is one of those. So, you know, the world needs to hear your message. The world wants to connect with you. And I'm not everybody's flavor. You're not going to be everybody's flavor, but you're going to be someone's flavor. So I invite you, especially if you're in real estate, but whatever profession you're in, get an app called InShot. And on InShot, you can just quickly record a video on your smartphone. You go to InShot, you embed the video. For Instagram, it needs to be a minute, right? They say 2 minutes are the best videos, you know, as far as engagement. You can change the color of the background. You can put different colored text. You can put music underneath. You can promote your name, your Insta handle, your Facebook page, you know, address, or your mobile. Brilliant. And if you're in real estate, you want to do it for every new listing. You want to do it out the front of an open for inspection. Just put yourself out there. Okay, please. If you're not on video, you're potentially not out there in the marketplace. And don't wait to have a professional production team. Just be you and your phone. Okay, Lenny Kravitz recorded his album on his phone. Madonna recorded her album on her phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's get over ourselves. So that's my tip here. I talked before about, so let me know. If you're on Instagram and you use and let me know. And if you're watching on Facebook, I'd love to know if you are also kisses from Kim, if you're also using video. And if you're afraid, I want you to type in still shit scared, still too scared, need a hand, and let me see if I can help you. Now, a big theme in my coaching this week, I really had the privilege of going behind the scenes, thanks Holly, behind the scenes with people to find out what's stopping them. And here's what amazes me after all these decades of doing this work. Do you know that you've potentially made decisions as a kid, as a child, that are influencing who you are being in your life right now? I did a lot of coaching this week and found out that my clients were making decisions as a 7-year-old in school, or a 14-year-old in a classroom, that is still impacting them today. I have to let you know you have two frequencies in your brain. You have what I call soul FM, and it forwards myself in life. This is your kick-ass playlist. This is when you believe in yourself and you're your own champion. This only gets listened to around 2% of the time. And then you have ego AM, shitty talkback radio. This is the voice that is, I'm not good enough, rich enough, skinny enough, tall enough, successful enough, he's better than me, she's better than me, I'm bad with money, I never, right? Do you know that voice? Do you know what I'm talking about? So you have two frequencies, and every nanosecond you are broadcasting to your subconscious brain, which is like a radio. This radio doesn't have the ability to discern what is a positive or a negative message. It just says yes to whatever is the most powerful. And here's what I know. Research shows that 98% of humanity are walking around tuned in to shitty talkback radio. All the negative beliefs, judgments, opinions, assessments they are making of themselves, others in the world. And this is keeping us small. This is keeping our dreams laying dormant. Is this making sense to you? Give me a thumbs up, a smiley face, a poo emoji, whatever you fancy, right? I want to know if this is resonating with you. This paradigm, 98% of us listening to shitty talkback radio, all of our talents and innate qualities are inhibited from being expressed. Lots of impacts. It's impacting us physically, huge levels of stress, anxiety, depression, and some are very suicidal. It's impacting our mental state. We're confused, we lack clarity, we doubt ourselves. It's impacting our emotional well-being. It impacts our spiritual fulfillment. It's impacting financially, our leadership, our communication, our ability to impact and influence. But what are the benefits? What do we get out of it? It's a roller coaster of emotions daily. Yeah, thank you, Kim. I really appreciate your honesty. It is a roller coaster of emotions daily. Up and down, up and down. That's right. That's what it's like to be human. The thoughts, they drop. You got to interrupt the thought and replace it with a positive one. But if I asked you, what are the benefits? Like, many of you know what to do, but you still don't do it. You've got a lot of shoulds and not a lot of musts. We will always meet our musts. If you must do something, you will. If you should do something, you'll just should all over yourself and just be busy thinking about stuff and not actually doing it. Make sense? So here are the 5 benefits. I've shared these before, but I want to share them again today, because these are the 5 handbrakes that your inner saboteur has on, that has you not go out and flow into the world and achieve what you desire. And I want you to listen for which one is your biggest handbrake, which one is the one that's sabotaging your dreams. Number 1, you get to be right about your shitty beliefs about yourself. You get to be right about your opinions about yourself, others in the world. That's number 1. Number 2, if anyone's actually at a laptop and not driving, please type these in for those that are online. Number 2, one is be right. Number 2, you get to avoid responsibility. It's not your responsibility. It's up to somebody else. So you get to stay disempowered. Number 3, this is the most popular one. You get to stay safe and comfortable. You get to hang out in familiar territory that you don't like, but you know what it's like. You know what it feels like there. So that's, you'd prefer to stay there than take a risk and put yourself out there and risk being judged. Number 4 is you get to be a victim. You get to relate that to yourself, that The world is more powerful and you are at the mercy of external circumstances, meaning you believe, if you're a victim, that you have no power to change your reality. And this is just the way it is. And it's far from the truth. But many of you feel that that is the truth. And you set up camp there, and then you've got a campfire and you toast marshmallows and it's kumbaya. With people, you might be actually reinforcing your shitty beliefs about yourselves, and you're in agreement. Then you set a paradigm for your existence, and you cannot bust through and go and achieve anything greater, because that is how you relate to yourself. That's your status quo. So be careful who you hang out with. Are you hanging out with people that inspire you, that believe in you, that encourage and push and nudge you to go and do what they know matters to you? Or are you hanging out with people that are also safe and comfortable, talk about a lot of dreams, wishes, hopes, and ideas, but aren't in the arena giving it a crack? You become your environment. So take a look. So what's the fifth one? Well, why are we showing up and living our greatest life, especially when it's 1 in 14 trillion chance of actually even being here? Why do we stay safe and comfortable in familiar territory that we don't like? We're not fulfilled, but we do it anyway. And why would we relate to ourselves like a victim, like we don't have the power to change our external circumstances? Here's the fifth benefit. We get to seek significance. Unconsciously, we create a lot of drama. We create a lot of noise. We create a lot of chaos and havoc, because that gives us this false sense of importance and that our life really matters. But it's not heading in the direction that we want. It's not the pathway to happiness and fulfillment. It's the pathway to misery. So be careful what you say, for you are listening. Every time today you have a negative thought about yourself, others, or the world, I invite you to be the eagle and observe it and interrupt it and replace it with something more loving, something more compassionate, something more empathetic. Hardwired to believe everything that you're saying to it. And your subconscious brain doesn't know, as I said, what's a positive or a negative message. It just says, okay. It just says yes to whatever you're broadcasting, and then it goes and creates a reality consistent with that. Does that make sense? G'day, Brendan. Great to have you here. So be careful what you say, for you are listening. The 5 reasons you're unconsciously sabotaging yourself is: you get to be right, you get to avoid responsibility, you get to be safe and comfortable, you get to be a victim, relate like you have no power to change your reality, and you get to feel something. And I want you to feel who you really are, what you're really capable, and I want your external world to reflect the internal landscape of your heart. We need to stop making decisions from this dysfunctional thinking and connect to our heart and ask ourselves, what do I love? And if you don't know, then that's your homework. Ask yourself, what do I love? What matters to me? What brings me joy? What makes me feel good? Please do more of that. Hey, Chris, great to have you here, my friend. Does that make sense? Please write to me if you're not driving. What do you hear for yourself? What matters to you? I want you to know this is not, gobbledygook woo-woo. Every thought you have actually wires your brain, and your brain is wired either for negativity or positivity. You may have heard that people say, it takes 28 days to create a habit. It does, but what they're really talking about is it takes 28 days to build new neurological pathways in your brain that will fire and wire differently. And if you have been thinking this way for 27 years, 34 years, 10 years, it's time for some rewiring. It's time for some rewiring, okay? So that's my invitation. Be mindful of what you're thinking. Just start there. Have awareness. Am I thinking positive, empowering, uplifting thoughts? Or am I beating myself up and putting myself in emotional quicksand or my misery of my suffering? That's a choice. And I know sometimes it feels like you don't have a choice, but let me give you a loving nudge. You can choose your thoughts. And that's my main message for today. Now, I feel very passionate about that. That's the reason I'm alive, is to help people shift from suffering to, success. So love all of this. Thank you, Tanja. Thank you, Holly. I really appreciate you saying so. It's a really important conversation, and I am going to bang on about this until I am dust. All right. here's my thinking about it. Particularly if you're a leader or you're a leading agent or you're running a business, what's my view on open door policy? Who here, by the way, if you have an open door policy, meaning your team can come and interrupt you and chat with you and ask you questions 24/7, or at least 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, just type in, yes, I have an open door policy. Now, there are pros and cons to an open door policy. The pros are you're approachable, you're attainable. It gives the impression that you're not up in a with, you know, with to talk to you and, chisel their thoughts into the 10th commandment. No, it means you matter, I'm available, it's a flat line management, come and talk to me. So great for culture. What are the cons? What are the negatives? Well, here's what I know. If you have an open door policy as a leader, good luck trying to get things complete. You're getting interrupted all the time. It's affecting your flow. It's affecting how effective you are at completing tasks. And it means that you have a lot more to do. And if as people are coming in with problems and you're just solving them, you're not empowering them to think for themselves. So here's my view on open door policy. I don't believe in an open door policy 24/7 because I think leaders, particularly in real estate, a lot of you are the predominant revenue earner as well. You're on the tools as a technician. So if you look at the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, the personalities of a leader or a business owner, technician, you're on the tools, you're the and then entrepreneur. Forget entrepreneur in real estate. Most leaders are being technicians and sometimes being a manager, but never, rarely entrepreneurs innovating for the future of your sustainable business. This is a danger zone. So if you've got an open door policy, it's going to really limit your ability to manage and be an entrepreneur, and you just get stuck in the technician mode. So my philosophy is have open door policy times, chunks in your day or in your week, and communicate that effectively to your people so they know that they can come to you at these times and ask you anything about anything or seek your support. This is so timely, rewiring my brain. Oh, Karen, thank you so much. Yes, open door policy. All right, Linda, I'm keen to hear what you think about what I'm saying now, my love. Let me know your opinion. Love all of this. Yeah, thank you, Holly. I said that before. So here's what I know about leaders that do have an open door policy. They value the pros that I've talked about, but here's what's behind the scenes of that. Most leaders want to be liked and find it hard to lead. They find it hard to say no. They find it hard to draw boundaries. They find it hard to compartmentalize. So the impacts are, it's very difficult for you to complete stuff. You can never get ahead. You end up taking a lot of work home, which impacts your sleep, which impacts family time, which impacts time at the gym or catching up with friends, and you're left with more work to do. So my invitation is block out times either in your day where you're out of your office, you go to the boardroom, the door is open. Don't make calls if no one's, because on the someone you're not available. Read a book. Meditate, just be there with the open door. And they're the times that you can be interrupted or spoken with. Now, that doesn't mean you're on an ivory tower. Tell me about it, Linda says. Yeah, you're getting interrupted, Linda. So listen, would you rather be liked because you're so approachable and attainable and then have a shitload of work and be overwhelmed with not much complete? Or would you rather still be liked, approachable and attainable, and have a strategy to be able to be effective? G'day, Marie. Great to have you here, and fulfill on what matters to you in your business. So rather than all or nothing, splice it up. Allocate time for both. Now, in the times, does that make sense? Especially Linda, does that make sense? Now, in the times where it is the open door policy time and your people are coming to you, if they have problems, here's my tip on this. You just say, got a problem? No problem. Give me 2 solutions to your own problem though. Come with code of conduct. Filter through your solutions. Go to our core values. If your core values are trust, if I was being trustworthy with this solution, what would I do? If your core values are integrity, if I had integrity around this, how would I handle it? If your core values are fun and laughter, professionalism, joy, I don't know, right? What are your core values? Ask your people to filter all of their solutions to every problem that they have through your core values. And if you don't have core values, let this be a loving reminder that not perhaps, you should create some. You must create some. Hey, Tara, great to have you here. Happy Friday. If you don't have values, consider that you don't know where to stand. And especially as a leader, if you don't know where you stand, you'll fall for anything, and so will your people, and you'll end up busy being busy with no code of conduct. I have 3 core values in my business and life. They're really simple. Most companies have like 10. I think that's way too much. If you can't hold them in the palm of your hand, it's too much. I think 5 or less is perfect. I have 3. Just so you know, my values are deeply connect. I want to deeply connect with myself, my greatness, and those that I have the privilege to serve, and fossick into their, the greatness in them and the nuggets in them, and get them out and let's get them in the world. So deeply connect to what's potent and true and real and raw and great. Number 2, authentically communicate. So deeply connect is 1, authentically communicate. That means I will speak my truth even if my voice shakes. I will say what is needed to be said in service of clarity and understanding and mutual goal congruency. And number 3, boldly contribute. Where can I boldly contribute? How can I boldly contribute to people? So if I'm ever wondering what to do or if to make a decision, I ask, how can I deeply connect here? How can I authentically communicate? And how can I be a bold contribution? They're my 3. So if you don't call, you do and create them with your team, because what we create and create the ideation together, we own more, right? There's greater level of ownership. So that's my philosophy on open door policy. I don't think it works. I think you need allocated times to be available. And then you need to let people know the times that you are not available, and let them know what you're working on. Let them know the games that you've got going on in the world and the difference you're committed to making to the company. Let them know the different hats you wear and the accountabilities that you have, and be an example of great productivity and performance so your people can follow. And oh, thanks, Linda. Yeah, I like my values too. They're simple. I know what they mean to me, and they help me make decisions. And yeah, but if you don't know where you stand, you'll fall for anything. 2 more things really quickly. Listen, client engagement. If you're watching this in real estate, I just got to tell you, the reason I'm in real estate is because I was once a vendor that just had shit experience with a number of agents, and I perhaps do. Here I am doing all the great things that I get to do. I think there is a massive amount of distraction worried about what robots are going to do to our future, and there's not enough focus on what we as human beings can do to make the client experience of listing and selling or leasing and renting their biggest asset meaningful and important and relevant. Most businesses are still asking buyers to swing by the office to pick up their confusing bunch of keys. Most businesses do not strategically anchor touch points at those highly emotional times. So here's my invitation. If you are a leading or a team, you're in business. Hey, Buy with Brady. What a great name. Buy with Brady. I like that. It's very catchy. Thanks for joining. Very timely. Karen. Hey, Karen. Marie is tagging Karen. So Karen, if you join in or you watch this later, let me know. By the way, if you're watching live, please type in live if you're not driving. And if you're watching record, type in record. You're welcome, Buy with Brady. It's a great name. Okay, so whatever business you're in, right, whether it's real estate, which are predominantly my clients, or Buy with Brady, I don't know what you do, but I will check it out after this live video. If you're selling something and you take clients on an experience or a journey, here's what I invite you to do over the weekend or today or next week. Get a whiteboard, get a butcher's paper, and all the highly emotional or stressful experiences that your client is likely to go through in the transaction of listing and selling their home, of buying those shoes, of booking that holiday, of getting a divorce, whatever it is that your goods and services are. What could we do to meet them at those times? So as a real estate agent, those peak times are at the listing consultation, when they sign the authority, when they're preparing the house for sale, when the house goes on the online platforms, the first open for inspection, the first negotiation of contracts, selling. There are peak times. According to CoreLogic RP data, here's the stats. Vendors' confidence in their agent of choice from the moment they sign the authority to when they sell the home drops by 47%. This is because we as an industry are great at seducing people to get the business, and we suck at keeping engaged with them. These are people's lives. It's not just bricks and mortar. This is people's lives. You know, the average Aussie currently, so we're in Australia if you're watching overseas, the average Aussie earns $79,000 a year. The average dual income is around $101,000 a year. Stop being transactional, be relational. So that's my tip. Map out the highly emotional or stressful or peak times and make sure strategically in your business you have a touch point. You have a card that you send, a candle, flowers, wine, coffee, vouchers, movie tickets, something to say, hey, we know this is a really important time for you. We're thinking of you. The difference that makes, one of my clients recently landed the biggest listing in her career so far at 2.2 million because when I did a coaching session with her and knew what the vendor was going through, they're moving to Colombia because their son's got a uni scholarship. I'm like, hun, you got to go and just deliver some love and say, I've been thinking about you. I know selling your house is one thing, but you're moving to a whole other country. Just letting you know I'm thinking of you. The vendor saw her do this through the window, invited her in, said, wow, thank you. This is beautiful. Guess who got the listing on that competitive? Said to my client, you showed us that you really cared and that it wasn't transactional, and we want to work with you because of it. And as she backed it up with the great examples and case studies, of course, flowers is not going to get you the gig, but it's a nice addition when you've demonstrated the value that you're going to deliver for your client. So thanks, Diane Live. Yes. Okay, great. So, hey, Karen. So I just think we are missing the boat in this industry. There are so many opportunities to stay sticky with clients and make them feel like the center of the universe, and not just when they're selling their house. What's your touch points after they've sold their house? How do you keep engaged? How do you make them feel great? So whether you're dealing with vendors, buyers, landlords, tenants, or any other client in any other industry, what are you doing to really make them feel special? And finally, very quickly, I was asked the question by one of my principals that I'm coaching. How do I increase my gross profit? Here's how. You got two dials. You increase your revenue, you need to make sure you're getting maximum return on investment from every single person in your business. How do you do that? Make sure they have clear purpose contracts, clear APIs, action performance indicators, not KPIs, clear ideal weeks so their time is reverse engineered to spend time doing the things that truly matter, clear measurement and management on the fulfillment of their APIs, clear position performance development plans, clear plans to upskill and increase their will to consistently produce on the contract that they've signed. Someone has to permanently manage that process. We don't do a good job in this industry of that. Okay, like that's the biggest thing, increase revenue. B, reduce expenses. You've got two types of expenses, fixed expenses and variable expenses. If you're part of a group and you have a state manager, I invite you to have a conversation with your state manager to provide for your 12 officers to get sweet deals and reduce the cost of the services by 30% because they're getting 12 officers. If you're an independent, I want you to look through your P&L and look at where are we spending our money, and are we measuring the return on investment we get from our marketing spend, from our training spend? Are our people implementing anything they learn from the training? So increase revenue. The biggest expense item is your productivity and performance of your people. That's where I would start. There's a lot of other touch points, but for the purpose of this video, start there. Are you getting 3 times the value for every person you have in your business? If not, look at your fixed and variable expenses and have a look at what you can do. G'day, Candice, lovely to see you here. And look at what you can do to reduce those fixed and variable expenses. And if you want to increase your profit even more, I highly recommend you get a book called Profit First. I can't for the life of me right now remember the author, but I will post it in this thread. Profit First. Most of us in business go, cool, there's my rent, there's my subscriptions, there's my staffing, there's my fixed costs, there's my variable costs. Do all of that. That's my CRM system. And then whatever's left over, oh, and there's my tax, and whatever's left over is my gross profit before tax, and then net profit. Profit First says your profit, put away your profit percentage in a bank account first, then handle all of your fixed expenses, and then you'll have a budget for variable expenses. So then you have to get really innovative to get maximum return on investment. This is I've got left. Does that make sense? Kate, I get flowers delivered a week after settlement to vendors to say thank you again with a handwritten card. They love it, even though our transaction was over. Exactly. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much. This is a highly competitive industry. Most people don't treat it like the relationship industry it is. You're not just real estate agents. If you're watching this and you're in real estate, you're change agents. So I'm going to leave you on that note. Go out and positively change people's lives. Be less transactional, more relational. Find out what your core values are and make like Gandhi and go and lose yourself in service of others. Because as Maya Angelou says, people will forget what you said. People will even forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And when you make people feel great, even when you make mistakes, they got your bones and you're there to serve it, it's a game changer. So they're my quick rapid fire tips for you. If you are not in our email tribe and you would love to get the video copy of Rapid Fire Friday and Mindset Mastery Monday, DM me, write a comment, and we'll make sure that you're part of the tribe. We don't spam you. We don't try and sell you stuff. We just give you great content. Have a great day. Thank you, Travis. Great to have you here, my friend. Please let me know, was that useful? Was that helpful? What did you learn? Did you get something? Did you get something for yourself? If you did, I'd love to know. Type in what you got. What was the one thing that you got for yourself today that you could easily implement straight away? If you, and I mean this, if you are currently stuck, struggling and concerned about yourself and your future, or you know someone that is, DM me and let's hook you up with a complimentary 30-minute discovery session. It's valued at $250. I'm not going to try and upsell you anything. I just want to shift you out there living a life that makes you happy and deeply fulfilled. I mean it. Like, I'm doing them every week, right? So you don't have to be suffering. It's a choice, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Type in live or record, depending on when and how you watched it. I wish you much love. Have a beautiful weekend. Go and be of service. Rest on Sunday and Saturday night, and I look forward to seeing you for Mindset Mastery Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Insta, live on Facebook. Go be great. Thanks for all the love and the smiley faces. I really appreciate it, guys. I do all this for you. You are such a superstar. Oh, Kim, I love you. Right back at you, gorgeous. Revisiting my core desired values. Nice, Diane. Awesome. Yeah, do it. Now, Mindset Mastery Monday. It's Open Mic Monday. I'm not gonna come with an agenda. I'm gonna be. I'm still here on Facebook. I'm just gonna be here on. Facebook and live on Instagram, offering free peak performance coaching to help solve the problems that you're dealing with. So bring them, like seriously bring them. If you don't want people to know who you are and what the challenges are that you're dealing with, just email me or comment or send me a private message on Facebook and I will answer your question, but I won't say your name and where you're from if you want to be anonymous. Thank you, Maria. Maria, really appreciate that you always love these. That's really kind of you to say. Okay, I love you. Go have an amazing weekend. Go be great. And please think good thoughts, okay? There's a 1 in 14 trillion chance that you are going to be here. We are floating in a rock. We're so consumed by what people think of us and they're consumed by what we think of them. This is keeping our potential dormant in our dreams dead. Go out there, be great.